Hi there. Let's review arteriosclerosis today. For simplicity, let's break it down into arterio and sclerosis. Arterio in Greek means artery and sclerosis means hardening. So we are talking about the hardening of the artery, that is when the artery gets thicker, harder and less elastic than normal. So the big wider term or the general term given in our medical literature is called arteriosclerosis. Now arteriosclerosis includes arteriolosclerosis and atherosclerosis. So pay close attention. Arteriosclerosis is a wider term. It includes arteriolosclerosis and atherosclerosis. So we'll get into the details. So what is arteriolosclerosis? Arteriolosclerosis, arteriolo is a small artery. So we are dealing with the hardening of the arteries, generally the small arteries. Okay. As opposed to that, in the atherosclerosis, generally speaking, we are dealing with medium and large, and that's how these two terms are described. So let's get into some more details first about dealing with arteriolosclerosis. So first and foremost, the hardening of the arterioles happens, or the small arteries, that is caused by hypertension and diabetes. So that's the killer. That's the ultimate reasons behind we end up having hardening of the small arteries. Now there are a couple of variations how the process works, but the end result is the same. So for those of you who are curious, there could be in the medical literature what they call hyaline arteriolosclerosis. What happens in that is this, that because of the let me go back to the arteriolosclerosis. What happens could be because of certain risk factors. It could be beyond our control. It could be something that we can control. We will get into those details. But what it boils down to is these two things. So the hardening from the plaque that results is called atheromatous plaque, and it happens in the innermost wall of blood vessel, and that is called endothelium. Now it could happen because of hypertension, diabetes, increased age, smoking, you name it, and we'll get into those details. So anyway, let's come back to where we were. So talking about the hyaline arteriolosclerosis, what happens here is this, that because of the blood vessel, the hypertension within the blood vessel, that happens, that causes the protein that is floating around, it gets piled up in the border and it creates a wall, and as a result the inner wall gets thicker, and hence you will have a hyaline arteriolosclerosis. What it does is this, that the end result, it leads to the hardening of the artery. Okay, so that's how the hyaline arteriolosclerosis works. As far as the hyperplastic arteriolosclerosis goes, what happens is this, that because of the hypertension within the blood vessels, in order to protect the innermost layer of the wall, that is called endothelium, but because of the hypertension in the hyperplastic arteriolosclerosis, the process creates inner layer of muscle as opposed to the protein that gets piled up here. But the end result is one and the same. It ultimately leads to the hardening of the artery. So that ultimately leads to what we call hyperplastic arteriolosclerosis. It may lead to ischemia. Generally, it happens in the arteriole walls in the kidney, and it may lead to the renal ischemia. In the hyaline arteriolosclerosis, it may lead to, for those of you who are curious, couple of things like arteriolonephrosclerosis or even a chronic renal failure. So those are the two things that may lead to such diseases like arteriolonephrosclerosis or a chronic renal failure, or if it happens, the ischemia happens in the arterial walls in the kidney, it can even lead to renal ischemia. So enough about the arteriolosclerosis. The process, the overall process is the same, but here in the atherosclerosis, we are generally dealing with the medium and large arteries. And what are the most common affected areas? The most common affected areas are the aorta, cerebral, coronary, renal, peripheral arteries of the pelvis and legs. And bottom line, what it does through the process, it leads to the hardening from the plaque, that is called atheromatous plaque. And again, this happens in the innermost wall of the blood vessel called endothelium. At the intro level, these are the basic things that you need to know without going deeper into the anatomy and physiology of that. So what are the consequences? Just take a pause and ask yourself. We are talking about the arteriosclerosis. We are talking about the arteries getting thicker, harder and less elastic, right? So what are the consequences? Well, we know the arteries are all over our body, the blood vessels. So let's say if it happens in the coronary arteries, it may lead to angina or ischemia, or it may lead to infarction, or where the tissue gets dead. So we call myocardial infarction or the heart attack. Likewise, it can happen in the internal carotid and middle cerebral arteries that may unfortunately lead to the stroke and or cerebral atrophy, things like that. The consequences, let's say if it happens in the superior mesenteric, then it may have impact on the small intestine. If you are dealing with popliteal artery, then you may have a peripheral ischemia, and the consequences may include gangrene plus claudication like leg cramping, so on and so forth. Talking about the consequences, you will frequently encounter and you will underwrite what is called aneurysm. So what happens because of this process? It may also lead to weakened walls, and weakened walls unfortunately leads to aneurysm, say abdominal aortic aneurysm. So that can be one of the consequences. Likewise, let's say if you are dealing with renal arteries, then it may unfortunately affect, of course, your kidney, and that may ultimately lead to the hypertension. So enough about the consequences. Let's talk about the prevention. So obviously, what are the causes that if can be prevented, and if we can control, we should. So that includes maintain normal blood pressure. Don't smoke. Avoid sugary and fatty foods, because those are the things we can control, and hence we should try to work towards that. Because there are other risk factors that we may not be able to control. And the risk factors that contributes to the arteriosclerosis are increased age. So the risk factors increases with age. Statistically speaking, males would have a higher probability and extra mortality as opposed to females. talking about the females and the risk factor. If you are a postmenopausal females, then there is a relatively speaking higher risk as opposed to a premenopausal woman or females. They have a less risk. And no surprise when it comes to the risk factors, last but not least, family history does play a role. So at intro level, these are the things that I believe pretty much covers. So how do we underwrite? How do we underwrite? Look at the consequences. The consequences, it could go from heart attack, angina, stroke, you name it. Kidney disease, you name it. So bottom line, when you underwrite, look at what impairment you are dealing with. Follow your company specifics, follow the manual that your company expects you to follow. So that's first and foremost, number one, because it can have a wide spectrum, number one. And number two, watch out for the combo debits. Okay, so with that, suffice to say at an intro level on these things that may sound similar, but there are some differences medically speaking, anatomy and physiology wise. So with that, let's take a quick break and then see you soon. Take care. Bye now.